Dude, are we
chill.
recording?
White ways,
Are we recording?
Yeah,
Okay, I have been stressing literally for the last 2 weeks since I asked you to come on the podcast how to pronounce your last name.
You asked me last week too, right?
I know, and I asked you when I saw you last week,
What?
and I've asked you 3 times since you've been here. So I'm actually not even going to say it because now I've just stressed myself.
Just try
out.
it. Just try it. Just try it.
Ben Nguyen.
wrong.
Is that right?
So close, so close.
How do I say
No,
it?
it's good, it's good, it's good.
That's right. Okay.
fine.
Yeah, it's good for a white guy.
Okay. So
Oh, I got it. That's the perfect white pronunciation.
so I'm here with Benny Nguyen
Yeah.
and Kelvin Tran. This is
Hello.
episode 33 of Lift Talk. Today we're going to talk about making bench press great again. And the reason I've got you two boys on is because you were two of the 4 coaches. Is that right? Or 5 coaches?
Jasoff,
4.
Davey.
We ran 4, I think.
So you were half of the coaching team, the Australian coaching team at Bench World Championships earlier this year. So I wanted to kind of pick your brains a little bit about how that was, what you guys learned, some of the experiences you could take back to Australia and sort of develop our bench press talent here. But before we get to that, I'm going to ask the question for each of you that I asked to everyone. I'll start with you, Kelv.
Oh, okay.
What is your first memory of being interested in physical culture space?
Yeah. Okay. So the first time I stepped foot in a gym was I was either 17 or 18, and it was literally like I think it was the start of 2018. I was 17 at that time, and I went to my local commercial gym because I thought I was a skinny, wimpy Asian kid and wanted to get bigger. So I walked into a Plus Fitness down the road, and I remember like walking to that gym, and I was like nervous. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I feel so like out of place. Like this smells funny. Like there are these weird people here.
That hasn't changed about the gym.
That
by the
hasn't
way.
changed though. And then the reception greeted me, and they're like, "Oh, would you like to do like a complimentary session with our PTs?" I was greeted by a PT. Shout out Vincent Chow. He was my PT when I first started, and I signed up with him straight away because I didn't really want to just like wing it. I had no friends who went to the gym. Like I was one of the first people in like my friendship group to go to the gym, so I had no clue what to do. I didn't look up anything on YouTube. I was just like, I'm gonna go with a PT once a week, and that's how I started. And then from there, he got me into bodybuilding because I really wanted to like build and gain muscle, and then competed in my first bodybuilding comp 2 years later.
Oh, you actually did a bodybuilding show? I
did.
didn't know that. How'd you
I
go?
did. Actually, it was 1 year later. I did okay. I came second in my division, like in first timers. I think when I did like a DEXA scan or something, I was like less than 10% body fat, so I was like super lean, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I'll do it again. I have thought about it, but yeah, it's definitely very different to what I do now.
So you actually competed in the 74 class initially. Now you're in the 83s.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was a bit of hesitation for you to actually go up to the 83s. Do you think part of that is because of bodybuilding and you like didn't want to let go of like the roots of your fitness? Like didn't want to let go of that, being lean type of feeling?
I wouldn't say it was like letting go of my fitness, but I honestly had an irrational attachment to the 74 class because I wanted to compete with people who were in the 74 class.
Right.
And I think going up, honestly, Tony Mai. Because
Both you aren't even in class
he
anymore.
was in 70, now he's in
in
93s, man.
Yeah, he's in the 93s now.
So when I was training at Plus Fitness, I was doing bodybuilding and Tony was in powerlifting. And we sort of had a running thing where I was like, oh, I'm going to get into powerlifting and like compete against you. I don't think we ever ended up competing together.
Well, now you've beat his best total of the weight class
Nah,
down.
I beat
so-
that. I beat that. But yeah, I actually wanted to compete in 74s because I wanted to compete with him.
Right.
So it was just a bit of an irrational emotional attachment. I did a consult with Stephen Day actually when I was coached by Tom Performotion, and then he stopped coaching, and I had a consult with Stephen, and Stephen's like, "You're going 83s. I don't care. Like I don't care what happens. You're going 83s. You're not staying 74s." But yeah, there was a bit of hesitation because I wanted to compete with other people in 74s.
So how was that bodybuilding experience then for you? Looking back on it.
Man.
Did you enjoy it?
It was honestly one of the hardest things that I've ever done. It was really grueling, and I could have done it a bit better, I think. During my prep, I just cut really fast, like really hard, really fast. and I think that my nutrition protocol just was not I wasn't really educated really well in nutrition at that time. So I could have done a lot better, I think. But yeah, I lost quite a bit of muscle during that cut too. But it definitely molded me into the person I am today. Like the level of discipline and level of mental fortitude that you need to get through a bodybuilding prep is very, very different to a powerlifting prep.
Yeah, well, Yanni said it's harder than cancer, so
Well,
gotta be
that's
tougher.
fucked. That's pretty hard to compare that to cancer. So yeah, it was really, really, really grueling, and a part of me wants to do it again to experience like that mental battle, but also another part of me is like, I don't want to do it again. Yeah,
all right, you, Benny, the leanest guy in the room.
Hell yeah.
the lightest guy in the room too.
How was your what was
59.
your first memory of the physical culture space?
It's just like in and out of high school, I guess now. It's like
Getting close.
we closer. Oh, okay. Yeah, in and out of high school, I was very short in high school.
A nerd?
So
Were you a nerd?
oh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was very nerdy, and then me and my friend Mark, we used to go up to the Road Fitness Studio, local gym, and we just train every morning before school. And I was like a bit overweight at the time, and so that was generally
At the time?
Yeah, just at the time. I'm good now, but and then yeah, ended high school at like I think about 90 kilos, and then I hit a growth spurt, grew 10 centimeters, hit about 110 in about a year and a bit. And then that's just from like training, and I was very cautious with like I grew up very sick with like a lot of liver issues, family passing on, shitty genetics and not being able to.
Just blame your family.
Yeah, no, it's like high blood pressure, cholesterol, and it's just like I think coming from like a poor family and like it's just something that we can't really control and have a really good grip on. And the education system for that specifically was a bit hard of reach purely because we come from a non-English speaking background. And so there was a big language barrier between doctor and parents. And so it was very hard to kind of like grow out of unhealthy habits and whatnot. And then, yeah, I explored that for myself and by myself and really tried to understand to how can I shift my health back to a state where I can enjoy it, I can be healthy, because I'd be going to the doctors every week. Like I'd see an endocrinologist every single week during school. And everyone knew I didn't go to school on a Thursday purely because I had to go see a specialist. And that kind of sucked. But we got past that and we went to the gym every morning. Didn't really do much actually. Trying out how to squat, how to bench, how to deadlift, and just the recreational bro split and just doing arms. And I didn't really enjoy it as much. I grew older, fell into sports, and then utilized the gym to get better at sports. So like played volleyball throughout high school, and volleyball was great. We got up to like, states and whatnot, under 19s, under 21s, and then got into OzTag right afterwards and, got lean, got really light. And so I'm at the 178, but at a 90 kilo body weight at that time. And then, we just kept playing OzTag. And one time I was benching, tore my pec, doing dumbbell presses. It was like 40 kilo dumbbells. And I just tore my pec. Like, it was bad. It was like, got up from it and it was just like, I'm feeling fine. And then the guys at the gym was like, dude, that's not fine. You heard a big snap or ran over and you're just looking at you and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Got up and my arm was just fucked. It was like everything was hitting me. It was a partial tear, left side, and I didn't know what the fuck to do. I got home and I was like to my mom, like, dude, like, I don't know what I did wrong. Like, there was something that's happened. And went to doctors and they were like, yeah, you got to get your scans done. And then out of lifting for like months, rehab, and then saw a physio for ages, and then learnt to do better and grow better. And then I started benching properly, and then all I did was bench, and now I love benching.
Now all you do
Now,
is bench?
now all I do is
Now
bench.
we bench.
Yeah, because it was like going from like those 40 kilo dumbbells, that's my maximum, 80 kilos, never touching a straight barbell, and then hitting 100, and then 120. This was like 3 months after the injury itself, right? So 120, and then 140, and then 150. By the time I hit about 150, that was when I actually became very interested in bodybuilding. And I inquired with Vincent as well. And that's how I met
did
Kelvin. Yeah. I went to one of his posing classes.
Oh, right.
At Plus Fitness. one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did meet at Plus Fitness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was very interested in that. And then, like, I just really liked lat spreading.
What spreading?
Lat spreading.
Oh, right.
Lats, yeah. And then, yeah, bodybuilding was hard, so I just stuck to bench pressing. Yeah. Yeah. And
So
that's it.
who were some of your early influences in the powerlifting world then? Like, how did you kind of find powerlifting then?
Well, I went to the same gym as Vicky,
Yep.
and we train at
Which gym?
Anytime Fitness Cabra.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The Mecca. The
Wow.
Mecca. Out of, like,
Wow.
it was so random. It was like an Anytime Fitness, but it was run by our friends, and they ended up getting
Calibrated,
some calibrated plates.
and rogue bars.
And rogue bars.
That was insane, yeah.
And then they obviously got caught out for it, and then they had to remove it. But
Did they?
yeah,
They had
did.
to
I thought
get
they're
rid of
still
them.
there.
I think
I think
they
the calibrated plates are still there.
are still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone just left though.
All the management changed. Everyone left. All the powerlifters left. But yeah, saw Vicky training under Tom Bulk. Then met Josh. And then I was like, dude, what's this powerlifting thing? And like, Ben, you should do it. You got a big bench press. That's the whole sport itself. And I was just like, yeah, I'll think about it. And then I saw there was a Potsy posted something about breathing and ribcage expansion, and that was when he did the cubed seminar with
That was COVID times, hey?
Yeah.
With Tom, right?
with Tom.
I did that too.
And then I thought about it, and I was like, dude, this guy looks good. Looked into Aiden, saw his highlights. Still on his highlights right now is him being a postman and the magpies and the swoopies.
Yeah, yep.
And I was like, and that's the only reason why I signed up with him, because someone was like, you just got to get a coach that you collaborate well with and communicate well
I
with.
did not know that Potsy coached you.
Yeah, I was with Potsy before Kelly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was with Potsy. That was my first coach.
Okay.
And then I only switched over like a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was under Potsy for like 2 years, I think it was. Yeah. And so made some fucking tremendous gains on squats. I think like plus 120 on squats. Right. And then like plus about 100 on deadlifts as well. It was horrible. But yeah. I still don't like it. Shit lift.
Still can't deadlift.
Still can't deliver it.
So before we get to talking about worlds, I want to talk about Power Pals real quick.
Yeah.
Which just happened on the weekend. So pretty cool concept, which I'd never kind of thought about before, but it was like a
Me neither.
team kind of like
It
duo
was hard to
event.
calculate.
Yeah, I didn't even bother looking at like the overall scoring. I was just trying to get my guys their lifts. But the premise was you have a partner, you have your Power Pal, and you know you each hit your total. You combine your GL, highest GL wins. Kelv, let everyone know how you went. You actually competed with your missus.
I did compete. I competed with my missus Kat, and coming into that meet, my training was really hot. Like it was probably the best training total that I put together, and for a while, like my deadlifts haven't been showing up in training during my preps, but we did do something a bit different this prep where we kind of prioritized deadlifts a bit more because I was getting really sad that my deadlifts weren't showing up. So we prioritized our deadlifts a bit more, and it went really well. So we're coming into this meet really hot, and Tony, who handled me, and also Ben, and Tommy, I gave them a brief of basically like what my goals were, what my objectives were for the comp, and it was basically 3 goals. One, I wanted to deadlift 300 finally, which has escaped me for many times.
And still escaped you.
And still escapes me, but we'll talk about that later. I wanted to GL 100, crack 100 GL, and I wanted to podium. And so those were my 3 goals going to that comp. And squats went really well as planned. Ended up with 265. Bench, I really wanted to bench 170. I've benched 170 twice in training now, and unfortunately on the day, like I felt like my right foot was slipping a little on the carpet. So we sort of had to adjust the plan, and we ended up with 167.5, which I think was a good call. I think with 170, man, with bench, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later, like there's so many variables that can impact the way you perform for bench. So I'm happy with how we ended. And then with deadlifts, initially we'd put in 300 as my 3rd attempt. And the boys were doing some calculations, and I was just sort of like standing around. And they calculated that I needed 292.5 to crack 100 GL. And ultimately, I think they made the right call in pulling back my third deadlift to 292.5 because on my second, I felt the bar slipping on my right hand. And I think it slipped for a couple of people too. I know Matty B missed his last one because his right hand was slipping.
And Charles.
And Charles too. So
His one was different. Charles went for a hook grip.
Well, Charles's grip was actually slipping on his second, which is why he switched to hook grip. But he pulled hook grip at nationals and just decided to change to mixed during prep. So fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well.
Charles, we want to talk about Charles today.
So yeah, like we ended up pulling back to 292, and even though it moved really well, and everyone was like, "You should have done 300."
You can kind of see your body language at the top of lockout there. You're a little bit like you're almost being forced forward because the bar's kind of slipping.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell. I could tell watching that. Like it was quick, but any more and it's coming out.
Yeah, that's right. I was holding to D life, and like I think on a day where there was a different bar, like the knurling was better or whatever, like better grip on the bar, I would have been able to pull 300, but it just 300 doesn't want me enough. It doesn't want me enough.
Because just go over it, you know.
I'll just go 305 next time. But yeah, that's what ended up happening. And like we still PR'd on our comp total, cracked 100 GL ultimately. And because some of the other lifters missed, we ended up finishing on the podium as well. We ended up coming third together in our team. And obviously it wouldn't have happened without Kat also going 9 for 9 and hitting her PRs and smashing her comp too. She did amazingly well. And I'm very proud of her.
Go team.
Go team.
How about you, Benny? How'd your team go?
Well, I handled Veronica, and it's her first meet, so I was ecstatic of how she went. I think we actually milked everything pretty well.
Yeah,
9 for 9, PR'd on everything, and really grinded out everything, and really like kind of left all the killers on the platform. Like her prep was a little bit difficult. She went to Bali halfway through a peak, and
Classic first comp.
her boyfriend Victor, and I was like to Beth, you know, he's going Bali, and she's like, what? Oh, that's why you wanted to pull back. And then you know, she had a really good time. I think it was a really good entry level meet where there wasn't much pressure in actually performing as a duo, and it was very encouraging to have someone that is powerlifting already and then someone that, you know, is unsure, and then they can actually kind of like be there on the day with them and kind of really like support
really
them.
nice to have like someone you know in the back room.
That was something that I saw. I remember hearing about the concept of being like, I wonder how this is going to work. And something that I noticed being there was like, everyone had a mate, and it was like one mate.
Yeah.
And it was like they were always kind of warming up in pairs, and like helping each other warm up, like helping each other with attempts. It was very like, it felt like a bit of a team event, which I thought was really cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot of people that were handling each other as well, which was great. Like the actual powers itself.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really cool concept because it's just like bouncing ideas off each other. Obviously, they have coaches from somewhere else, right? And then it was really cool to just see everyone really like, you're definitely going to have a friend there because, you know, you're competing with someone, and then they always have their network, and it's a really good way of being able to kind of meet a lot of people who are in that same boat as well.
Yeah.
Not to say that like, you know, an individual lift doesn't have the exact same thing and setup, but you know, the concept is great.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really encourage my new lifters to do, especially like my juniors, is to do a comp with a friend.
Yeah.
Like get your training partner to sign up for the same comp.
Yeah.
Prep together, taper together, compete together.
Yeah.
Like I think it makes a huge difference. And that's like another one really cool thing about APA is like we've got this freedom to have a bit of differences around how competitions look.
Yeah.
It's not just like, hey, here's another local comp.
Yeah.
It's like we've got the opportunity to kind of think outside the box a little bit and like have these events that are a bit different and a bit cool.
And I think the other thing about these local comps is that like you're able to make them much bigger than just like what we used to do. I'm just doing this to qualify for states kind of
Yes.
thing. Like I know that Teresa and Raz have been talking about like defending their title next year as their pow. Like that's sick to have as a local comp.
And people will see, like, you know, better lifters will see like, oh, they got on the podium with this score. Like I'm gonna team up with this person, and we're gonna come and get on the podium.
And
like,
I'm sure someone's gonna want to crack the 200 team GL.
Yeah, and that competition's gonna come next year, and it's gonna be even better next year, which I think is really cool. Good times.
It will be very exciting. You
So,
gonna do it next year?
I know Ben wants to compete against me.
I actually might do it next year because I'm gonna do Nats. I'm gonna do November and then Nationals, and then I'll probably have 7 months is probably a good amount of time
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
If you were to pick a partner, who would it be?
You?
Me?
Oh. Oh.
Not Chris.
Oh.
Chris
Oh.
gets constant jabs on this podcast, especially when he doesn't have a microphone to defend himself.
Just his fingers.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to talking about what we're actually here to all talk about, which is making bench press great again.
Yeah. Bench press.
I want to take a zoom back into sort of when I started powerlifting, and there's general Australian consensus thought behind the importance of bench press was very subdued, and it was very it was almost frowned upon if someone cared about bench. And there was
Is this your opinion, or is this...
this is this isn't my opinion.
Okay.
This is the
is.
culture of Australia. Well, I mean it is. I don't like bench press. No, it's what the culture of powerlifting was in Australia when I started was Australians were known for having big deadlifts.
Yes.
Australians were known for being, competitive with squats, and we were known for not being anywhere near anyone on bench press.
It was very much like, oh, I've got the biggest deadlift. Like, who's got the biggest deadlift kind of thing. Hey.
Yeah, bench press was an afterthought. It was always oh, it's the break between squats and deadlifts. It's and obviously you guys have seen how the other countries think about bench press. I can't even remember what my question was. What was my question? How are we hoping to actually change this belief behind bench press? And do you think it's already on the way there?
You want to start?
I can start. I think from a coaching perspective, as someone who does not have that big of a bench press, it's not bad. It's not like...
You're right. You're pretty good.
3 reds. I think that, honestly, bench press comps are just fun. You can have so much more fun doing a bench press only comp as compared to a 3 lift. Because one, the pressure to refuel and have to make sure you're at your...
It's a marathon, not a race kind of thing.
Yeah, you gotta refuel. It's just not there because you don't have squats or deadlifts. And it's just it's so chill. It's so chill. When we were at Worlds, it was just so chill. Everyone warming up together. You can have fun. You can have fun. You can really enjoy just being in the moment of a bench press comp. And what we laughed about a lot when we were at Bench Worlds was the fact that you've got you weigh in, you've got to wait 2 hours to lift off, and your comp's half an hour.
Yeah, that's it. It's the weigh-in's twice as long as the meet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
And I think it was just a lot of vibing out with the people in the back room, the coaches and the other athletes in the back room, and just enjoying ourselves. I think that's what I think a lot of people will find really appealing about a bench press only comp. And I think that's what I want people to realize more, but it's not going to happen until people actually compete in bench press only comps.
For sure.
But in terms of changing that landscape, I think we can also, I think Ben will talk about this a bit more, but basically telling people there's much more to powerlifting than just squat and deadlifts to begin with. The bench press is something that you can be, there's a reason why there's bench only worlds, right? Bench is something that you can really focus on and something that you can grow. You just kind of have to put a bit more time into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an interesting way of looking at it. It's if you look at every world champion in 3 lift, it is really, really rare to find someone who's bad at bench press.
Yeah.
Really, really rare, which should just tell us the importance of it. It's just as important as the other two.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, if you don't have a big bench press, thinking about this on a competitive level, if you've got a great squat, but your bench press is trash, that puts so much pressure on your deadlifts to have to perform.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to build that subtotal, which means that when you go to deadlifts, you're going to be fuck, if I don't pull this, I'm gone. I'm out, you know?
I guess how people look at bench press is it's a whole different realm. It's easy because it's only one lift of the 3. But we already know Perks went over to do, Perks did bench only and he came 5th, right?
Yeah, Austin Perkins, yeah. He didn't podium.
He didn't podium, and he does have a strong bench. There's no doubt, but there are crazy bench presses out there, and they see it as almost like an art form. They're very supportive of one another too, because at the end of the day, Japs, Swede, wherever you come from, they just want to see someone bench 300 kilos. Like they don't really care where you're from. They don't care about gatekeeping these techniques, these programs. They just care about seeing some random phenom
Do
step
crazy shit on
do
bench
crazy
press.
shit on bench press,
Yeah.
and you have all that time to be able to kind of like communicate. It's like the best way to put bench comp and how fun it is like if you're a deadlift specialist and it's deadlift time, and it's all deadlift now, right?
Yeah.
You got
That's what a bench press only comp is like.
yeah, you got 3 attempts and then you got 2 changes. That's basically what bench is. When you walk into it, you fire up right now. That's it.
Man, the attempt changes on bench press is so fun. Like you're literally playing the game like deadlifts on bench press.
Yeah.
It's especially fun on a bench because the weights are often closer together.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
obviously we've only got 2.5 increments.
Yep.
And the gap between a really good bench and a great bench is smaller than a gap between a really good deadlift and a great deadlift.
Yeah.
Correct.
Therefore, the lot number's more likely to come into it.
A lot of numbers.
All that kind of stuff's more likely to come into it.
Raz as well. Raz will go over and over again with lot numbers. If this guy had a lot number, man,
I would have smoked this.
different
his ass.
ballpark, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly right. It's like going into this, it's like your deadlift battle. Basically, it's ready for the chips. It's ready for picking out what you want to win and how you want to win, right? But we're also seeing what the traditional game day planning and game day approach for bench press is right now and was soon, is that push hard on first, then you got 2 more attempts to make something heavier, right? And
That's the traditional.
that's the traditional and how people approach
perspective,
it,
right?
right?
The,
Yeah.
the Mitsu approach.
That's it's the Emisu effect, right?
Yeah, it's like +5, +5.
Yeah.
Right.
Between attempts.
But we're seeing like you already see strategies with deadlifts pulling lighter, giving them the space, being able to jump and match that jump in the initial jump. We got like Raz's approach with Davey, and they opened light. Every other lifter looked at it as he's weak.
This
Yeah.
guy's
Out of the
weak.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, write him
Don't
off.
worry
yeah.
about him. But the cool things is, and the perks of it is now you're going to be waiting less. You jump the queue, you pull back. So therefore, you're behind and further back. You get more rest. And these guys have to burn out faster because they've lost the 1 minute of rest. And they can't anticipate your next jump because you've just jumped 15 kilos. With what Raz did, bigger jump on second to third as opposed to
Yeah, that jump
first,
was just cracked. I think it was like a 12.5 kilo jump and then a 17.5 kilo jump.
yeah.
From second to third, it was just
Yeah,
cracked.
and it was unpredictable, right? And we're going to start seeing these unpredictable things because people are going to realize that that's how the game should be played rather than
That's how the game can be played.
can be played. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think another thing to talk on is the fatigue in a squat or a deadlift or a 3-lift meet compared to just doing a bench only meet. It's miles apart.
Yeah.
So the chance to do more and more bench only meets in the same year is much, much higher.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you could actually get really, really good at competing in bench press by doing a bench only meet. And you don't have to peak all 3 lifts. You just pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to segue back to like your
You just
question-
treat it like a fucking Saturday session. You just
Yeah,
go
it's
and
exactly
you
right,
weigh
exactly
in.
right.
primary
Yeah,
bench
it's like
day
just
session.
just a 3-hour day. You just go and weigh in, and then you do your max lifts on the
exactly
platform.
right. It's like to segue back to it. It's like people should like definitely try doing bench only meets purely because it's just really fun. But it also gives you the opportunity to compete in a higher standard with referees. It's not as expensive. The next bench meet is only $80. Right?
Helps you practice comp like train
standard.
or like you could trial your taper, trial your like weight cut strategy,
Yeah.
trial all these different things without actually having to go through the fatigue of doing your 3 lifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could also trial not doing a weight cut and seeing what the difference between your weight cut and your not. Like, there's so many ways that you could use a meet environment to your advantage. And we talk about this all the time with 3-lift stuff.
Yeah.
But you get the opportunity to do this without the
So much, yeah.
excess fatigue and without all the planning that goes into
Yeah.
Exactly right.
planning for a full competition prep.
Yeah, and we also have people coming now and going, all right, they're doing SPD Cup, but they also have Beyond the Grave the week before. It's like, yeah, let's do a week 3 push, see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
We've got a few athletes that just
And then just match those attempts in 3-lift the following week.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like it's another training day that you can actually look at it and approach it,
capitalize on.
and capitalize on that standard of lifting.
You guys are talking me into wanting to do a bench only.
Do it.
meet.
Just sign up. We still got spots.
I think when it comes to like the landscape of bench press in Australia as well, given the experience that we had overseas, like what Benny was saying before, I think is really important to mention is other countries see it as an art form. Like they put so much time and energy into it, but they're so willing to share that knowledge with us. Like there was a night after the Bench Worlds where they were like the Swedes, Norwegians, or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, came to our hotel, and we're talking about bench press for like hours, while we're having some drinks. It was insane, and I think by sharing that knowledge with the rest of everyone in Australia, like the other coaches and the other athletes, I think will help encourage people to see what we saw at Bench Worlds, to really understand how much more there is to bench press, how much more technique, or how different programming could be for bench press, like the way the Japs program or the way the Swedish program, like it's...
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit, but yeah.
But very, very different, but really eye-opening.
Yeah, so Benny, you actually messaged me just after you got back from Bench Worlds, and you were like, man, I want to talk about how we can get some of this stuff going in Australia.
Yeah.
And because I'm on the coaching committee
Yeah.
For APA, and we don't really do anything around like actually funneling stuff down. But what I said to you was like, we need to develop this from the ground up. And it starts with giving people the opportunity to do bench-only meets.
Yeah.
And also it starts from like us coaches learning these techniques and implementing them into our programming for our clients to get that talent from the base level and build it into, you know, maybe a nationals, maybe a worlds, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that's gone since we had that chat?
So everything that we do learn and take away, and comes into play with like how I'd taken a pause with Kelly for like 3 months, just running different styles of benching and how I can approach benching really differently as well. I don't have the biggest athlete pool, so I can't really test out so many theories and what we've learned itself. So what I ended up doing was kind of like being able to experiment and see what I can do myself.
Yeah.
We're in this, like, most of us coming back from Worlds are all in this R&D period where you got
R&D.
Yeah, right.
It's a good way to describe it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like myself, Kelvin, Raz, Hugo, Davey, we're all trialing out different methods, different approaches, maybe run some of this, maybe run some of that. And we still communicate and talk about this. We still have our group chat for Bench Worlds. And we want to collate on this to be able to kind of like build something and build an understanding that this is the most effective thing that we found. We're again, not about gatekeeping. We're really, if you ask us, any of us, about benching, we'll spill. Like, it doesn't bother me. As long as Australia can come up. What my goals are is pretty simple. Build the strongest bench press worlds team that we can possibly send and secure some medals for us.
Well, that's entirely why I got you guys here today.
Yeah.
To like literally not gatekeep, get this information out there, and potentially like get a few more people interested in doing it.
Yeah.
I think the next step there for you guys would be to like grab a group of coaches who are really interested in bench press in particular, and create like a seminar or a weekend course or something.
Yeah.
And invite coaches and athletes to come and do it and spread that information further.
Yeah. I guess it's now like securing an understanding and making like really setting that foundation now.
Yeah.
As to what actually worked and what didn't work. Because
getting the info to actually build that seminar out and like actually give good information out there.
We need to know what's factual. We need to know, are they really running 10x10s? Are they really running 5x20s? Like, are they really ascending sets, 5x20s and add an extra rep every single, week?
The Japs are insane. Like, I have a story. Can I tell the story?
Yeah, go.
So it was me, Davey, J-Soft. We're in the swimming pool of a hotel. We're just swimming around. We're just chilling. And one of the Japanese coaches come into the pool. And we'd met him earlier in the day at Alico HQ because we were training together. And at Alico HQ, we were talking to him. And there were all these Japanese people. Like, there was this like 74 kilo guy benching 225 feet up bench at Alico HQ.
Is that Suzuki?
No, it was
Yokoyama.
Yokoyama.
Yeah, Yokoyama. And we were just like,
the goat, bro.
What is going on? And so he came into the pool that night, and we were just talking to him, and I was like, what do you guys do? Like, how do you do that? And he's like, 10x10 is the foundation. Like 10x10 is the baseline. That's what he was saying to me. He's like, 10x10 is where you start, and then you build from there. And we're all like, what do you mean 10x10? And the Japs are very, very into like high intensity and just pushing a lot of volume. Yeah. But what we learned from the Japs, the Swedes, the overarching, I guess, like philosophy behind bench press is that just do more. And I think in Australia, everyone could just do a lot more bench pressing to get better at bench pressing.
I feel attacked.
But I think that was the overarching lesson. Like, just do more bench press. Like,
Yeah. To bounce off that, it was like I wasn't there for the pool seminar.
the swimming pool seminar.
Which
CK.
which swimming stroke helps bench press the most? I imagine it would be breaststroke.
Bro, no, he jumped out of the pool. He jumped out of the pool and started doing these like scapular push-ups this way, like using your scaps to push off the floor. And we're all like, "What the fuck's
It
going
is
on?"
crazy. Like the Japs are like on it, man. They got these things called A-wear as well.
A-wear. Yeah, I'm ordering some.
It's like how I can kind of like look at how it works is like you're spacing out your digits, your fingers,
Yeah,
right?
so they're basically like plastic like spaces
Right.
between your fingers.
And it actually spreads out. So the more you spread out the top here, it acts as a leverage to space out like your carpal here, right? And the bones in here, which helps with just like really adduction of the actual wrist itself. And so they're actually able to internally rotate more and have a larger surface area on their palms.
Which is like they
And they
think
wear
of-
those like just throughout the day or
throughout the day.
during training or
Yeah,
like
just-
And they
before
do a lot of
training?
this. Wait, this way.
Yeah.
Do a lot of that.
They're literally just walking around the training halls like this.
Yeah, we've got Mitsu here. We see him doing
Yeah.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you see Vincent doing that once.
Exactly. Right.
It's insane. Like the level of detail that they put into bench pressing is insane.
And we can see that from on the platform as well. We can see clearly, like, dude, like what he just did there, that amount of range of motion that he cuts, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane.
I think like it's hard to envision doing all the stuff that they do as bench only athletes while you add in the other two lifts. And that's kind of where that's kind of my difficulty, like wrapping my head around all this stuff, is that I don't coach anyone who does bench only. So like I'm trying to think like, how could I actually gather some of this information that we're learning about the best bench presses and apply that to 3-lift athletes?
Yep, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So Kelvin got back and he ran some stuff in his program, same as me, and same like 10 by 10 was the foundation. We started with the 10 by 10.
I started with 5 by 10. I started with 5.
I'll be starting with 1 by 10.
But what we've kind of gathered from this and found out is that it's not about intensity. Japanese run intensity, but the Swedish don't run intensity at all. And so we can kind of see from the musculature and the class and who dominates and which weight classes and which like space of these classes. The lighter weight classes, who are obviously locked to their frame, which are the Japanese, they tend to not be able to exploit musculature and gain as much
Put as much
right?
mass on their frame.
Right? And so they tend to be technique heavy and technique focused. And in doing so, in being in that case, they're able to actually push that intensity higher purely because they don't need to put on any more mass.
And they're also much more efficient in their technique as well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a lot of people can be efficient in their technique, but yeah, the frame as to how wide you are against the bar itself, the Japanese just have a better ratio for it. So you can see that
That's why there's so many lightweight Japanese champions. Yeah.
correct, because they can exploit that. And then when you go up and the technique starts to change and the musculature starts to change as you go up, and in the middle weight classes you tend to see quite a lot of those European countries where they have a lot of density,
Big
a lot of
Vikings.
musculature, right? Yeah, Vikings. You got Swedes as well. Swedes took home like 4 medals within that middle range weight class, right? And so it's just like they tend to build more muscle and aim to have more muscle, and so you can see that the intensity drops off a little bit and the volume increases more, right? And then as obviously when you get up to the super heavyweights, it's not about what nation, it's about how much you eat and how much you can put on. First place guy, Farod, he was like 143. He benched 285. But the guy right after him, the Algerian guy, he weighed like 170, but he benched 280.
That's really normal. That's really normal from the super heavyweights, even in the 3-lift, to be 170, 180. Like Jesus 180.
Yeah, and then how that's replicated within their training systems now is that they tend to like high exposure and constant exposure to that top end isn't going to do them many favors. And so they see that it's a lot more dialed back, and their approach to training now is just like more voluminous, right? And just pick your fights and being able to kind of select what works best for you. And you can see that in their technique as well. It's not very soft touch. It's very sink and push because they have the mass to actually be able to do that. And so their training style now suits the actual technique as opposed to what they could be doing and should be doing to actually gain strength.
So would you say that the differences in programming are relative to the size of the athlete or the country of the athlete or both?
I think it's interesting because it's like I don't know if the Japs are aware that their style of programming is catered towards lighter weight athletes. Like I don't know if they see that trend either because I think they apply the same sort of programming to the heavier weight.
It just doesn't get them as far, so none of them are on the podium, and then we don't notice them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
It's
there,
like
there
survivorship bias.
there aren't a lot of heavyweight Japanese bench pressers.
Well, there aren't any good ones.
Aren't any good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, like the trend that we saw from just like a outsider's perspective is lighter weight classes are just dominated by the Japanese because a lot of them are that sort of build, and they push high intensities which work really well, obviously.
For the lighter people,
Yeah, for the lighter people.
And we see this with three lift as well. Like we see that the smaller, particularly small women, do so well with very frequent exposure to very
Exactly
high
right.
loads.
Very technique based and very technique heavy lifters itself.
Which is why the Japanese are such like highly technically
Technically proficient.
proficient lifters. Whereas like when it comes to the Swedes, it's about like they push AMRAPs to just build musculature, just to build the capacity to push.
So Eddie Berglund's a 66 lifter, obviously a lightweight. He's a bench press champion and a three lift champion. What does his training look like then compared to like the Japs?
I
Don't know.
It's hard
Was
to
he at
gauge.
Worlds?
Pardon?
Was he there?
At bench
Bench
was?
press?
I
Yeah,
don't think
he
so.
wasn't. Okay.
So
Did the Swedes have any lighter weight lifters?
Not many.
Okay.
not many. They started from the 83s, 93s mainly,
Okay.
up into that 105 range.
Okay.
It's very tricky to determine now. Going back to the question of how do you implement like what we've learned from bench only to three lifts itself, and how people can dominate. You know, it's not based on country. I definitely don't think so, but I definitely feel that there's a standard or an average body shape or structure each nation can follow or has, right? Because it's just the average towards, you know, that nationality itself.
The demographic, yeah.
Yeah, majority of Asian people tend to be very small, or you know,
Like
Just
yourself.
like you, Benny.
but yeah, like myself, exactly. And then you obviously get outliers that kind of like fall in between, or like you get a super heavyweight that does a light touch or a soft touch.
It just doesn't work out as well.
Like it's not easy to do so. It's easier to kind of just gravitate towards, oh, this body type, you can do this because you can add kilos this way. But you got outliers, right? Like you got people who do sink, but you got people who don't sink at all, right? And it's just like, it's a personal preference, but it's also like, can their body facilitate for such a task?
But I think, yeah, coming out of bench worlds, obviously as myself, because all the other coaches were competitors as well, except for Jacob Sofianis. He doesn't. I don't think he trains.
Does he lift?
No, he's a really good
He
bencher.
doesn't lift.
He's
He's
really
a great. He's
bencher.
a great bencher.
Yeah.
All the boys ended up like pushing like their AMRAPs and their 5x10s or 10x10s, and they ended up reaping a lot of rewards from doing that.
Yeah.
Because I think that their bodies were already adapted to just pushing bench because they'd peak for the comp and then come back from comp, and they were just like they're already in that sort of like environment.
Yeah.
Whereas for myself, never really pushing bench that much, I adapted some of what we learned at bench press to my programming after bench worlds, and actually it strained my pec, and that was from me just running 5x10s machine gun bench press on one particular day. And so
My favorite accessory.
Keys.
I think when it comes to adapting what we learned from bench worlds and the different programming techniques to three lift, it's very much like a progressively overload kind of philosophy where
Start with a bit.
Start
do
with
it for
1
a
by
couple
10.
blocks.
Yeah.
Add a little bit. See
Yeah.
how you go, and then
but and I'll do like one set of AMRAPs at the end of your like light bench session.
Yeah.
And then progressively add to that. I think that's the sort of way that we can implement these programming techniques or these programming like methods to 3 lift athletes, and I think overall it has helped a lot for myself, and I'm starting to see the outcomes to my own athletes with their bench press, and I think that's the way that it can be done with 3 lift.
So overall, what would you say that we're missing here in Australia then?
You're
doing
just
enough.
not doing just bitches. We're just bitches.
Start RPE
Like,
9 accessories on week 1.
Yes, like
RPE 9 accessories.
there is
on week 1 is
there is no reason why. This is my hot take back from your episode with John the other day.
Probably not going to be that hot.
Your accessories. There's no reason why your accessories should be programmed at RP 8. Like there is no reason why.
You mean
should
upper
be.
body?
No, including legs. Like leg extensions and hamstring curls.
Sure.
But like there's no reason why you should program accessories at RP8 if the goal is to build muscle.
the only accessory that I don't put at RPE 9 10 is back extensions. That's about it.
Fair. But yeah, I think that like people in Australia, what we're not doing is we're just not trying hard enough. We're just not pushing hard enough, whether it comes to accessories or when it comes to just pushing like AMRAPs on bench or pushing more volume on bench. People are just bitches. Like that's
Fucking look at me.
I wasn't looking at you. I was laughing. I wanted your reaction, Chris.
Our bodies are very adaptable. and
Yeah.
we can do it. It's just we tend to choose not to or get very lazy, especially when it comes down to accessories, right?
I think people just don't think that they're capable of doing it.
Exactly.
They're just like, oh, how can I do 10 reps?
Yeah.
You can do fucking 10 reps there. Like, it's not that hard.
But we've definitely scaled it up in the programs. Like a lot of my athletes started
Yes.
off with 7s.
Yeah,
So they
7s,
get
8s, 9s, 10s.
Right?
Yes.
And then they stay on 10s. That's it.
See, I don't change RPE on accessories throughout a block. It's always 8 to 9, pretty much for everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I used to taper it up as the block progressed, like I do
That's
with main
what I've
lifts.
learned too.
But
That's what I used to do too.
I haven't done that for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Like there's no point in not pushing accessories fucking hard.
Yeah. So a lot of the Swedes just focus on like rep ranges. You 10 to 15, hit 15, go up and weight. There's no point staying at that.
Is that for a main lift or an accessory?
Just accessories.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've done is I've given them like my rep ranges go from like obviously like the conventional 10 to 15 to like even 20 to 25 reps. And I learned that from Yusuke from Japan, one of their coaches for the Japan bench team. Basically, he told us that he does 50 reps of bicep curls.
Because he wants to do that bodybuilding comp. That's how he's
Three sets of 50 reps of bicep
He's
curls.
fucking jacked.
And he is jacked.
He
But
is
that's
so
he also said that's a way for him to train internal rotation though, by doing an incline dumbbell press. Incline bicep curl, dumbbell bicep curl. Not only does it build biceps, but it gets him into this internally rotated position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about game day tactics. We kind of went over it a little bit there. How does bench only differ from a 3 lift as far as tactics go? And would you
You're
guys
knee deep in the battle. That's it.
Yeah, you just start.
When
you
you
start
when you get in,
the battle.
you better have
start-
been done like two scoops of pre-workout straight off the bat in the battle straight away.
It's so fun, man. It's just,
And it's over
Man.
in 30 minutes, man.
yeah.
you just get transported into the trenches?
Yeah, legit. You literally get thrown into like the trenches, and it's like, all right, you got 3 attempts to make most out of it, and you got 2 changes on your 3rd attempt. So you literally go into the way that you play deadlifts
Yep.
in the battle of deadlifts, but with bench. And when it comes to tactics, lot number and body weight just play such a big role, because what we've mentioned before, where the increments between attempts are just so small. Like there are people who, like I think at Bench World we saw very, very similar attempts, and it's like whoever has the lightest body weight is going to win.
It's so predictable in the warm-up room, especially with how we ran our team. Was we had 4 of our coaches all on one athlete, one scouting, one pushing, one seeing what's going on. Right, it's very easy to see their last warm-up, their first attempt, predicted second attempt done.
Yeah.
That's it. It's over. Right. But with Raz, it's different because we just jumped 30 kilos.
Yeah.
Raz does 3 warm-up sets, right? And same as me.
Well, that's the thing is when you get closer to a top end, it becomes easier to know how much is left.
Yeah.
correct.
The further away you are, if your opener is 80% of your 1RM,
Yeah.
like you don't know whether someone's got 20 kilos or 35 kilos.
Yeah.
Like you really don't know. So it makes it much harder to scout
Yeah.
what the other people are doing.
And it's not something that's new. I feel like it definitely can be on the newer side towards bench press, purely because the traditional approach was if we push an RP 8, we have 2 more chances to push heavier than RP 8.
+5.
Yeah,
pretty much.
right. And you narrow down your chances. But if you're prepping for like the space, how much fatigue you save, how much energy you save, especially when you're looking at a sport where if the lighter weight classes can only jump so much because of the increment is 2.5, then it's already going to be very predictable. Therefore, their training has to be within that small range, then they can't practice those big jumps. It's just set in stone.
I think where the jumps differ for a 3-lift bench press performance is that you aren't actually getting medals or winning based on your bench press
Yeah.
at a 3-lift. The bench is in the middle to build the total.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is why it kind of makes sense in a 3-lift to take slightly smaller jumps than you would in a bench
Yeah, I
only.
would agree.
But that doesn't mean that if you then do a bench only, that same exact thing doesn't translate over to bench only. So there's like a difference between doing 3 bench attempts in a 3-lift meet and then doing 3 bench attempts in a bench only meet.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that, you definitely want to be milking the most that you can get when you're benching at a 3-lift. But when it comes to bench only, like you've got the freedom to do, honestly, whatever you want. Like you can take those conventional +5. Or you could take big jumps and just like hide your cards from your ops and do something like that.
The other thing the bigger jumps allows you to do is it allows you more choices.
Correct.
So like, let's say your second attempt was 180 and you're looking at the board and it's like, okay, we could take 187 for 4th place, or we could take 190 for 3rd place, or 195 for 2nd place. Like you now have choices. Whereas if your second was much heavier, you're now kind of closed off based on what you've got. Like you may already be 4th and you may be waiting for someone else to jump you. And now you're like kind of a bit confused about what the attempt selection is. You allow yourself more decisions if you give yourself more options.
Yeah. I think one of the situations, or one of the athletes that we played really well was Nathan Young.
Yep.
I don't know if I can recall this properly, but he was nominated like 7th or something, or 8th, and we ended up getting him third on the podium. And the way we played it was basically for his 3rd attempt, it was basically if he had gotten his 3rd attempt, as long as everyone else essentially missed, he would get it. He would get 3rd. But the way we played it was essentially putting in a 2nd or 3rd attempt where it was like a sort of laying under, what's the word? Like under the radar. It was kind of under the radar. Like no one would suspect him of like doing anything.
Exactly.
And then we submitted a higher 3rd and essentially pushed everyone to have to do
Jump
more
harder.
than him, jump harder than him, either
Because we're talking about matching jumps,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of the strategies in the past was if you're laying ahead of someone, you just match jumps, and you win, right? Especially, it's harder now to match jumps when someone starts significantly lighter.
Yeah.
And it was the same approach that we did with Raz with Nathan, was that if we can sacrifice some of the 1st and the 2nd, give them space to jump and force them to jump harder.
Yes.
We already know, and we've already predicted that from their 1st and their 2nd, they're already gassed enough. They can only have a maximum of 5. I'm pretty sure a majority of the athletes anywhere between the 83s all the way up to the 105s, maximum 5 kilo jumps, purely because they've pushed it so that they can solidify a standing when you don't need to solidify a standing on 1st. Right? You need to save enough tank in the tank for the 3rd, right? And this is what we know from like performing in a 3-lift, right? And this is what has helped us so much, is that we already know that we're going to be fatigued from squats and bench. And so our deadlift has to be conservative enough to put something on the board, 2nd enough to secure something, and 3rd to push even above that to get beyond and into that space that we want to. And so we took the same approach with benching, right? Applied it, find a space where we can sit behind on 2nd and then push and jump into 3rd and into a position where it's a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite plays for 3-lift deadlift, when you have someone who's in the middle of the pack or behind.
Yeah.
Put them in a position on their 3rd where you're forcing others to make.
Yeah.
And you're actually forcing others to take a jump that they don't want to take.
Yeah. And if they miss, then it's to your advantage.
And if they make it, like, you shake their hand and you say, well done, you beat me.
Yeah.
Correct.
But if they miss, you're now putting pressure on the next person and then the next person and the next person.
That's what we did at New South Wales Women's States. Remember I was handling Anne and then you had Kate? and you put pressure on me to make a bigger jump, and we ended up securing second, and you didn't even falter, like you didn't change anything. You've already solidified a position, and I was unsure and worried as to what can you do and what can you and if you can push Anne out, because at the time we needed to secure a top 3 to get to nationals, right?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? That was the first time I saw you actually up front in close in handling. And you came and shook my hand afterwards.
I don't remember.
And she was like, "Did you feel the pressure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Because if you were to push us out, then we'd lose that podium spot, right?
I don't remember that at all.
Really?
Did Kate win?
No. I think Kate just secured 3rd to go to nationals. That's it.
Kate who?
You're Kate.
At States?
Yeah.
No, she won.
Was it women's states?
Yeah.
Nah, it's men's.
She won the 2021 at City Strength, and then she won the 2022 at Newcastle. She won both at States.
Damn, maybe it's not Kate then.
Talking about the 76?
Is it the 76? Who's
Which
the one? It was Anne Zhang. The one where the 2 Queenslanders were in the same weight class as well. They came down from...
Oh, okay. So I was handling Rochelle
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
for
the one.
Jonesy.
Sorry.
Yes.
My approach. Yeah.
Yes.
That one.
Yes. I don't remember the exact specifics.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Rochelle had final pull.
Yeah. But
and
you
we just sat and waited, and then we changed down.
Your second secured quite a lot, and it was for us to make a decision whether can we push into second and hope that she doesn't take a heavy third, or can we push into third and sit there and like, what's our position?
Yeah,
then?
you pushed into second, and then we kicked third off the platform. And
Yeah.
we finished third, I think.
Yeah, you didn't care for what your placements was. It was top 3, right?
Yes,
to
that's right.
Qualify.
That now I remember.
And that pressure for me was like, if I push too heavy, then we're not going to be on the podium at all. But if Hazy pushes me off, and that's another thing. So we needed to go beyond third. We needed to go into second so that he couldn't push me off.
because you weren't last.
Exactly.
I remember that one. That was particularly interesting because the state deadlift record was really low.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, and actually all the state records in that class were really low. So everyone had chips.
Yeah.
Like across the board. There was like,
Correct.
someone had a squat chip, 2 people had a bench chip, including us, and then someone had a deadlift chip. So all 4 of the top 4 had totals that weren't 2.5 increments.
Yep.
So doing the math was like uber confusing.
Yeah.
And we also got tripped up by lot number at the end as well. Someone attempted, I think we ended up doing 183.5 or something like that for the lowest number we could possibly take.
Yep.
To just get us an extra little bit to
Yeah.
get on the podium. Yeah.
Because that was the hardest one, because it was just such a tight-knit battle. It was like 4 people looking to bash out for top 3 to qualify for nationals. And I didn't understand, and Tien made it very clear to me later on at later events, was that it's not about who's in front of you. It's also who's about behind you. Because if you miss, there's opportunity for people, right? And you need to understand what they're looking at as an opportunity. And I just took that for granted. I was just like, oh, we're in the front. I didn't care anything else. Right? But
Yeah,
now
interesting.
and you can apply the same to bench press as well. It's just that if you miss, you're going to get penalized for it, right?
Yeah, Gornskis.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened with Nathan Young's flight. Like it was in a sea of red. He was literally one of 2 or 3 people who got his third. Everyone else missed.
Yeah.
And that's how he got from nominated 8th or 7th to podiuming.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, we'll wrap up the bench chat here, and I've got one final question for you guys. And Chris, I want your opinion on this too. So we'll have to get you in here to grab a microphone at some point. Chris,
He said
are you
all of
listening to me? Chris, are you listening to me? Okay, Chris is listening to me. All right. So Kelvin, Benny, I want you guys to rank your favorite carbohydrate sources, and I'm giving you guys 5 options. So we got noodles, bread, pasta, rice, and potatoes.
Pies. What?
And
Potato.
pies. Pies is a 6th one. No. Noodles, bread, pasta, rice, potato.
Yeah.
Noodles, bread, rice, pasta, potatoes.
All right, Benny,
Do you have
can
yours?
go first.
I already have mine. Yeah, mine's in my head. I got
Yeah,
this.
I have a vague list.
Yeah.
You go first, Benny.
Number 1 is rice. Easiest to digest for me.
Okay.
Fastest to digest.
White rice?
White rice.
What kind of white rice?
Plain white rice. I like Japanese medium short grains.
Okay.
I also like
very specific.
I like jasmine as well. They're nice and fluffy.
I like jasmine.
Basmati's probably lower on my spectrum.
Basmati doesn't have a lot of taste to it.
It tends to be very dry. I tend to find Asian rice a lot sweeter too. And then less starch content as well. and so they tend to be nice, airy, fills the stomach, but also very quick digesting. And then second would be potatoes, purely because they last a lot longer in the body. So I always eat my potatoes for breakfast, and then I have rice as my pre-workout meals.
You eat potatoes for breakfast?
Yeah, because they stay in your system.
What potatoes? What kind of potatoes?
White potatoes.
No, like how do you cook them?
Oh.
What kind of?
Well, you could have asked that, right?
Sorry. How do you cook potatoes? Mashed potatoes?
No, air fryer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like chips.
No, like potatoes.
I know what potatoes are, man.
Air fryer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Just
potato in
chop
air
them
fryer.
up.
What, you put the whole potato in the air fryer?
Chop them up, a bit of
chop
oil,
them up, throw them into the air fryer, a bit of
oil,
olive
salt,
oil. Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Cubes?
Huh? No, just cut them in half. The cubing takes too long.
What, half potato?
Yeah, a potato cut in half. Boom,
Yeah,
air
right.
fryer.
Okay. Oh, jeez, man.
Okay, that's your second. What's your third one?
Pastas.
Okay.
Pasta would be my third. But why would pasta and noodle be any different?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Okay, because this is important. I'm thinking pasta is Italian stuff like penne, spaghetti, ravioli,
All came from
fettuccine.
China.
That's Italian pasta, and then noodles is like Hokkien noodles,
Like
and
instant
like
noodles?
rice noodles, and like ramen and shit like that. Asian noodles.
Ah.
So that's the that's the differentiation.
Chris is like, they're the same. Yeah.
I feel like they're not.
No, they're not. They're not.
I feel like they're not the same thing. But anyway,
I'd put pasta first, and then I put noodles after, and then I put bread. But I do really enjoy
did you
bread.
just say bread was fifth,
Yeah.
brother?
Yeah.
Wait, so this is carb source before training, right?
No.
Oh, just in general.
Favorite carb source?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Actually, I'd switch. Oh, this is not even training
it's
related.
hard, dude. It's a hard question.
I thought this was like
I thought it was-
after weigh-ins.
No, I thought this was like training related, like powerlifting related. It's not even.
No, we don't talk about
Nah, I
powerlifting
just
here,
want
bro.
your opinion on
Okay,
food.
I'd still put rice first. I'd put bread second as my favorite thing to eat.
Okay.
Noodles will be last. Potatoes follow that. So it would be rice,
Bread.
pasta, noodles, potato.
Potatoes last.
I see potato as just sustenance at this point.
Okay. Kelvin, what's your list?
Fuck, dude. I don't know, man. I'm gonna put probably noodles first
Wow.
because I really like noodles.
That is a spicy take.
I like noodle soup. I like ramen. I like mee goreng. Actually, I had mee goreng
Yeah,
today.
mee goreng is awesome.
Yeah. So I think as a carb source though, I don't know. I'm just thinking about taste right now.
It's not like I'm only putting them as carb sources because
they're
that's
carbs.
what they are.
Yeah. Right.
But you don't want to look at it as
I'm not saying like which
thing,
food
right?
which
Right,
food is your
right.
preference for training. I'm just saying which are your favorite of these
Because
five
that's how I've
options.
interpreted it. Right?
Noodles, number one.
Favorite out of these five options.
Noodles.
Okay.
Then it would be bread, pasta, rice, potatoes.
Wow, you've both
You know,
got
no,
potatoes
sorry, no.
last.
Potatoes would be
Last. Fuck. Dead ass.
right. What did I say? Noodles, rice, bread,
They're great, but overrated, man.
potatoes, and what I've left? Potatoes and pasta.
Noodles, rice, bread.
Potatoes and pasta. Yeah, pasta's last.
Pasta's last. Okay. My list is bread is one.
Yeah.
Think about all the good shit you have with bread. Pizzas maybe with bread. Number two is
True.
potatoes.
That's true.
Think about all the good shit you make with potatoes. Hot chips, regular chips, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but you don't get like
Stop it.
noodle soup though.
Number three is rice.
Put the noodle last.
Number four is pasta. Number five is noodles. Sorry, Kelvin.
You know what? It's because we're Asian. It's because I'm Asian.
I didn't put noodles that high.
What did you put noodles?
Second last, I think.
Second last.
Before potatoes.
Honestly, I really like noodles.
I mean, I'm Irish, so potatoes are going to be high.
That's fair.
Chris, come and sit in my seat and give your five.
You sit on his lap. Hello.
Hello, lads.
Hello.
Number one is gonna probably be rice.
Yeah.
Fair.
Rice fucking rules.
Keys.
Rice absorbs sauces amazingly. It's great. Number two,
Thought more about it than I did.
we're gonna go probably with bread. Bread's versatile. Bread fucks up some people's digestion. I don't care. It's great. Doesn't do it to mine. I'm happy. Three, I'm gonna go noodles.
Whoa.
I
Okay.
fucking love noodles. I got into making my own like stock and soup this winter,
Yeah.
which was really, really
delicious.
good.
I'm so hungry.
Yes, same.
I got laksa in the
fuck.
handmade noodles.
Jesus.
So ready.
That's awesome. 4, I'm going to have to put potatoes. Which, as someone with an Italian last name, might be heresy to put pasta last, but I'm going to... Pasta last.
I think pasta's a bit boring. Pasta's like...
It's because you can't cook.
Pasta's just like...
Ugh.
Bit of sauce, bit of pasta. That's about it. Is that not pasta? That's what that pasta is.
I mean, have you been to a good Italian restaurant and had like a nice ravioli or like a nice like gnocchi or something?
Yeah, it's nice, but it's like... Yeah.
I mean, I put it fourth, so.
It's not as good as a nice warm bowl of
Anyway,
soup.
if you really disagree with my takes, DM me and I'll argue with you about it in the DMs. That was episode 33. Thanks for joining me, boys.
No worries.
We'll wrap it up there and
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to everyone next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.